morning. Charles today comes to you from Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. I'm down here for a week. Thought I'd escape the cold of England, down here for some winter sun. Going to work in shorts and t-shirt, pretty focused on work, but good to be able to just get out for a morning walk on the beach. Next week I'll be in eWorld, cold in Essen, so just grabbing this last little bit of sun before I head off to eWorld. Hopefully I'll see you then. So I'm back in my apartment, and been a lot of news flow this week with the tariffs in the US. And this morning I was just listening to the news, how it's affecting impacting German stocks particularly. And I thought I would take a look at the DAX 30 today. And you're just looking at the DAX index itself. Looking at the chart, we still are in an uptrend on the daily, and really no signs of this trend ending. If we look at the US market, look at the for the Nasdaq, for example, we are really sort of ranging and looking a lot more toppy. So it's quite interesting that's, and of course, if US stocks do fall and have hit a high and fall away, then that would be bad for most Western markets. But that's the key thing. Just a few other things that are happening before we look at the German stocks. Gold pushing to new highs, an upside target there of 30.25, 3,300. So upside targets all the way, making new highs, very, very bullish. Just looking at the tech stocks, Apple, mixed picture here, just sort of breaking the cloud, downside target. Amazon really looking the strongest, pushing to new highs, following the target, so that's looking very strong. We've heard news that Google have been hit in China, but the chart's still looking pretty good there. We are just nudging to new highs, so taking that news in its stride. Microsoft, more mixed. It really hasn't looked very good for the last several months. It's been falling away and it's not looking as strong. Facebook or Meta, again, pushing to new highs. Really hard to see how the malaise that's been talked about for tech stocks is not really showing up in the charts. Now, Nvidia, of course, is the one that's caused a lot of newsworthiness, being hit last week with the emergence of the new AI in China, and we're seeing here that has activated a downside target. So Nvidia is looking a little bit wary, and then Tesla. Again, a lot of news flow surrounding Tesla, but it is in a consolidation phase as well. It's gone up, and we've got downside targets. We need a new high, really, in Tesla to activate the upside. These targets mostly met. Anyway, so let's take a look at the DAX. This data that I've just been looking at is coming off Refinitiv, but UpData runs on multiple services. Whatever you're running, you can run on top of. So here I'm now running on Bloomberg data. So I've got Bloomberg and Refinitiv running in the background. You see here, there's my Bloomberg chart, and we see Refinitiv in the background. So I'm running both, and again, you can run whichever you're using into UpData. So first chart is Adidas. I'm just going to literally go through the chart. So Adidas looking pretty bullish, upside targets. Airbus obviously hitting some resistance here at 170, but again, upside targets. Allianz, making new highs with upside targets. BASF hasn't looked so good. Downside targets met, upside targets met, downside target met. We've got this upside target, but we really probably do need to break the sort of 50 euro mark. Bayer, this is probably one of the worst looking stocks on charts in Germany. Downside targets were given beginning of last year and met, and this target was actually met much sooner, but we're still in a downtrend. Beiersdorf, a little bit of a downtrend there. First motor manufacturer, BMW, and interestingly, BMW, we're seeing here the downside targets were given and met. So we went from sort of 108 down to 65, and so the bad news was already in the chart, and now we're hearing how German companies would be affected. We're seeing that downside targets here for Bentang. If you look at Commerzbank, upside targets given and met. Continental waiting for a new upside target to be activated, but looking pretty good. There's resistance obviously there at the previous level at 75. Deutsche Börse just running up the hill, no signs of a downtrend there. The same with Deutsche Bank,
pulled back a little bit, but upside targets, multiple buying thrusts giving us these upside targets, and Deutsche Post had downside targets, new upside target, still below the clouds, so not so good there. Deutsche Telekom looking very, very strong. No buying thrust recently to give upside targets, just marching up the hill there. Daimler, another motor manufacturer that might be hit by the US, but we've got upside targets there. Siemens, looking pretty strong still, waiting for this new upside target to be activated. Aon, I'll be at eWorld next week, seeing Aon and RWE. So very interested to see here. We've got a downtrend, but new uptrend, new upside target. Just running through, and if I go some of the other stocks, Infineon not looking as good. Mercedes-Benz, really interesting here that you've got these downside targets given and met, and now we're just breaking above the clouds. So the news might be bad, but the reality is the chart's improving. Merck, looking a bit like a turnaround. We still do have these downside targets hanging over us. Porsche, another motor manufacturer, turning around here, downside targets and then a new upside target. RWE, again, just be at eWorld next week, seeing the turnaround there, and then looking at just some of those SAP also looking very, very strong indeed. And Volkswagen, last of all, another German manufacturer, looking like it's through the worst. So really quite interesting that we're hearing all this news flow on German car manufacturers being hit by the tariffs, but it's not yet showing through. Now, remember, you're on Bloomberg. You can just type apps Lin Go to get the targets, and then you just type Lin after every chart, and it will put the targets on for you. And here we see Mercedes-Benz. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm getting back out into the sun, but I thought I'd just share my morning run through the charts with you. Until next time, happy charting. Bye for now.